My name is Adrian Marcelo Sáenz. I'm 26 years old and I'm a choreographer of Odon.
I am Eleni Markou. I'm from Greece. I'm 25 years old and I'm the choreographer and dancer of Odon.
We got the commission to do this ballet, Odon, by our director, Silvia Tomova. And we got extremely excited when she told us that we had the opportunity to create a two-act ballet.
Аз наблюдавам артистите си през цялото време. Наблюдавам ги докато давам клас, докато танцуваме, докато репетираме, наблюдавам ги докато почиват. И виждам как всеки един от тях запълва, да кажем, свободното си време. И така реших, че всъщност, като ми разказаха либретото и като видях тази мащабност на постановката, защото Odon е голям балет, той е двуактен балет и трябва да се прави от личности с размах. Трябва да има много мащабно мислене, трябва да има много запас от движения, от комбинации хореографски. И тогава казах, да, това ще е Марсел Молина и Елени. Въобще не мога да кажа всъщност, че съм мислила много. Просто така беше отраз решено веднага. Мисля, че това е поради тяхната емоционалност. И те и двамата имат силни характери, вибрират на едно ниво като емоционалност и като можене. И това винаги е много добре и много полезно за една работа. Допълват се и, разбира се, наблюдавайки ги вече в творческия процес, в залата. Те работят страхотно, прекрасен е спектакъла, много интересни хореографски находки, много. Много са мащабни като хореографии и като репетитор. Те изискват артистично и правилно да бъдат разказани всичките образи, дали колективни, дали сола, дали отделни. Така че аз мисля, че този спектакъл ще има много голям успех и много ще се хареса както на публиката, така на критиката, така и на всичките колеги. И че ще има своя много активен и дълъг живот на сцената.
It was very interesting when we had this meeting with the composers, Mark Saliba and Mark McEncrow. We had this Zoom meeting because one of them lives in Croatia and the other lives in Sydney, Australia. So it was quite interesting the way we worked, because even though we have not met them in person, and there are two composers, we're two choreographers, so it's a great quartet of creativity. And even though it has been through distance, the vision they had for Odon matched our personalities and our choreographic desires. We wanted to make something modern, something different, something avant-garde, so that people, not only here in Bulgaria, but around the world, can see that young choreographers are trying to match what's trending now, because there's a lot of trends now for series, documentaries, social media. But we can always bring some of that innovation to dance, to classical arts, to the theater, to reality. One of the things that Mark and Mark, alongside with us, wanted to communicate is realness, reality, truth. People get a lot of fake news, a lot of plastic experiences, a lot of monotone lives, and Odon wants to bring a fresh and different perspective to classical arts, to what you go and see on the theater.
This music is a big challenge. It's polyrhythmic. That means there are 4 or 5 things happening at the same time, rhythmically different, and everyone has to be very independent, very strong in their own capability and correctness, and at the same time listening to the colleagues and following the colleagues. How do they fit exactly in? Just like dancers. I'm amazed and so happy to have the opportunity to put this on stage with a great ballet company. I hope we can meet the level. I hope we can meet their level.
I remember Marcelo, when we start this project, he said, I don't want nothing less than Lady Gaga.
The court members are very interesting characters because they're covered in gold. The idea that we had for the costumes of the court is that they're so rich, they're so powerful, they're so arrogant
Gold
and pretentious
everywhere.
that they wake up and they don't put on clothes. They just put gold to cover their bodies and to dance, to have fun. The costumes of the army, we have an army that's 100% made out of women, except for one boy that is the enemy envoy, where we want to communicate also the power of women, the power, the girl power, feminism. Let's show little girls that you can be a beautiful swan, but you can also be a warrior, you can also be in an army. You don't have to always look pretty to be in point shoes. You can also be strong, you can be powerful.
We want to see their character on stage, and this is one of my favorite part in our ballet, the enemy camp, because all the girls on stage, point shoes, and their movement are staccato and so dynamic.
Odon is a story about treachery, about kings being thrown down and other kings going to the throne. So the story is a bit dramatic in my understanding. It's a bit battly, it's a bit dark. So this inspired me a lot. I have affinity towards minimalism or brutalism in a way when it comes to architecture. So this gave me the freedom actually to create my favorite so far scenography and to include more and more of my ideas about minimalism, about deleting the unnecessary details that usually in most of the modern ballets there is a lot of, let's say, talking from the stage that I wanted to limit. So I wanted the scenography to literally say one sentence and this sentence to stay until the end. I want the audience to understand it by themselves and from the choreography of Marcelo and Eleni.
We was trying in every rehearsal to remind them the feeling that they must have, and of course when you ask love of one person and then the same time in 3 minutes after you have to kill this person. I'm dancing in this, and as a choreographer, when I'm dancing, I can see how our dancers are thinking, how are they feeling, and it was really interesting. We was dancing together with these people, and then we have to have the other role, as a choreographers, and was a big challenge.
I think that it has been a big experience for us as artists. Like Eleni said, we are also dancers in the company, and the dancers that we are working with are our colleagues. So it's not only the challenge of creating a 1 hour and 30 minutes ballet with brand new music, beautiful music created for the ballet, but it's also knowing how to handle and how to motivate our colleagues to follow our direction. And not only a simple direction, but a complex, different, and new artistic line for our company. So it was quite challenging all over, and besides Eleni is also dancing. So in a way, it has to be very well organized, but very well set. What do we want? How do we want it? And I think that also gets communicated to the audience. The characters of Odon are like normal day people. What can I say? I think anyone who sees Odon will relate to some of the characters. The emotions, depending on the situation, depending on the time, change, evolve. The characters are real. They're flesh and bone. Yeah, it's a king and the queen, and it's a tale about medieval eras, far away from real time. But the actual plot is an everyday and a modern story.
I'm Clara Pla, and I'm a soloist here in State Opera Stara Zagora, and I will be doing Fira. I would say the first challenge is emotion, definitely, and dancing-wise, it has so many ups and downs that you need to know what you're doing every time as a dancer to control everything, and especially as a character of like Fira, that it's so unpredictable. As Clara, I am a very peaceful person and very, I would call myself soft dancer. And I put this into Fira when it comes to the soft parts and the patatas with Milo. But Fira is taking over when it comes to being strong, which is difficult for me, but I really enjoy. I really enjoy being someone that can be strong and powerful. Fira takes out of me something that makes me feel complete.
Well, working with Marcelo and Delaney is, of course, different than working with an external choreographer. First of all, because we know each other and we're close friends, and I really like how they work. They know what they want. They're really professional, and they demand professionality from the dancers. They don't just want to make beautiful dances, but every moment has to convey something, some emotion. One of the most challenging parts of being Milo is keeping this character a weak guy, a submissive guy, and conveying it to the audience, but also be a strong partner in pas de deux that are quite difficult, and to find into myself emotions when I'm dancing, to not fake any movement, to not fake emotions while I'm dancing and acting also in the pantomime. And yes, I think for sure I'm growing as an artist, as a dancer.
I think what we wanted to innovate also with these things is challenge the things that are established already. The gender roles, what a boy does and a girl does. We erase that line. Boys and girls do the same. Boys and girls can be as powerful, as strong, as delicate, as gracious. The court members, there's no difference between the movements. Both genders, male and female, in the court get merged together. It's just about opulence. It's about showing who you are. Arrogance. The king and the queen, they show the toxic vulnerability relationship that a lot of people live nowadays. Then we have the servants, Fira and Milo, that during the whole ballet change their characters because of the emotional and historical moment that they are. They're servants, then they become revolutionaries, then they become king and queen, but they don't know what to do with the power. So because of control, they lose control, and because of this, just this thirst for power, they forget who they are. They forget their relationship. They forget their purpose. Then the peasants who are asking for help, but then they misunderstand help for blood and for murder. Then we have the enemy army, which is a statement, like I said, of feminism, of strength, of girl power, of women can do and whatever they want to do. And in the end, the enemy army wins. In the end, there's not a happy ending in Odon. Odon is not about happy endings. It's about reality. It's about the raw emotions. And that happens with the enemies. At the end, all the girls win. And the enemy commander, which is a female, proves that at the end, if you are organized and if you are together, no matter who you are, can win. So it's a lot of innovation and a lot of challenging the roles of gender, of art, of how can I say, like activities that are supposed to do. So that's what Odon wants to do. Odon wants to challenge art. Odon wants to challenge minds. Odon wants to challenge emotions, bodies, and definitely reflect and enjoy.